So of all the things you do, what should get all of your attention and intention, but what excites you the most? Right now, it seems to be the digital marketing and stuff. That's what excites you the
I think
most.
what excites me the most is the lifestyle to travel whenever I want. And then flipping. So I've already decided, like, I still want to flip, but I don't want to flip by myself.
Yeah.
So I will never flip a project if I have to be the boots on the ground.
If you have to drive to Lowe's
Yeah.
to get a vanity,
Exactly.
you're not with it.
Like, I'm not with it.
Yeah.
So the idea is that I bring in these students, I'm teaching them how to do it, and now I'm throwing all of my deals to them to partner with them and give them like a small piece of the pie because I'm already teaching them anyway.
Yeah.
They're already paying me to teach. I'm getting paid on the affiliate marketing, and now I'm getting paid on the flip, and I don't have to do any of the work.
Well, they get paid to learn, right?
Yeah. So
that's
my funnel right there.
Yeah, like Mike hasn't gotten paid a ton for what he's doing in here, but he's also said the 4 months he's lived in Hawaii, like all the education has been in this room.
Yeah.
With these conversations, right? So
Yep.
you can go to UH and pay to learn, or you can like attach to you or me and get paid to learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, we kind of jumped the gun. Your name is Stacy Augustin. You're from
Stacy Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. Married girl now.
Yeah.
Stacy Johnson.
Stacy Johnson.
I gotta change you on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta change you on my phone. My bad. When I heard about you, I was like easing into this real estate thing, or actually not easing in. I was going hard. I jumped into this real estate thing, and there was this girl from Hawaii, but she was in San Diego talking about flipping trailers or something, or doing like.
Is that me?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what you were doing, right?
Yeah, I was in Orange County.
You're in. I knew Southern California somewhere, and I was like,
Flipping
but she's kind of
trailers.
like,
Let's go.
she's kind of like in this Hawaii crew, and then you moved back home.
Yeah.
And we connected. We did a deal. I sold one of your projects.
My biggest project actually.
My
biggest flip I've ever done. Not biggest in the sense.
You guys did Nu'uanu, right?
Okay, that one was like biggest project. Let me rephrase that. Biggest profit.
Oh, okay.
Was that deal that you helped me sell?
Clip that.
Which was really
biggest profit.
Yeah, here's the hook. Wait, hold on. Here's the hook. I made $100,000 on the flip that you sold for me.
Clip it.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. So, and by the way, thanks for the gift card to 53 by the Sea. Yeah. I still spent like $350 on that dinner. Dang, that's always expensive. But so you came back home. What impresses me a ton is your age. Like when you moved back home a few years ago, you're what, 24?
25 or 24, 25, something like that.
And when we first met and you were explaining, like, you're like, hey, I'm ambitious, I'm driven, but I'm also, I think you said lazy, which you're not lazy, but you're being a bit outrageous to say, I want to focus on the higher level things, and I don't want to be doing the mundane. I'm okay teaching and bringing up others, and they can earn with me. And in my world, in real estate, not a lot of people get there. They're still like, no one can do the paperwork as good as me. No one can put on the lockbox as good as me. No one can put in the signs in the yard as good as me. And they have this pride in that, and I don't think that's anything to be proud about.
Yeah, that's whack.
But you had that at mid-20s, early 20s. Like, how did you get that?
Definitely engineering. You learn how to automate everything that you do.
Yeah, you have an engineering degree.
Yeah, so I went to school for mechanical engineering.
Where at?
UC Irvine. And easily found out. So I remember I was doing like a research project where I was analyzing California's capacity to meet 100% renewable energy.
Okay.
And that put me in front of a desk, like calculating, analyzing on Excel and coding all this stuff. And I was like, dude, this is miserable. I can never do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out, okay, like, what do I want to do? And I knew I had to do a senior design project. So instead of joining other people's one, I started my own. And I started at UCI, the solar race car team, where we designed and built a solar one-passenger car to go across America, completely powered by the sun, like 2,000 miles. And that made me realize I love being like in charge of a project instead of like actually doing the work.
Okay.
And so through that experience, just being in engineering, obviously, like, you never want like our tests, dude, they were all open book. All open book. You get a
Really?
calculator. Yeah. They give you can write down all the formulas, but it's up to you to know how to use them.
I should have went to engineering school.
Dude.
I used to write my equations and stuff on my legs. And I like pull up my shorts
pull out
a
your
little
shorts,
bit.
dude,
Yeah.
the board shorts.
The teacher
dude.
can't say anything. What, you gonna look at my shorts, you know?
Yeah.
They let you be open book and
Yeah,
engineering.
everything was
Bruh.
open. At least the upper division classes was all open book, and so I kind of knew that it wasn't about like working hard. It was all about working smart.
Wow. So do you think that you had that innately in a way, and engineering, like the reason why you went towards engineering is because you were already kind of a systems and efficiency person? Or do you think that you really didn't, like you just had as much of that as anyone else, and then going to engineering school really developed it?
Yeah, I would say I got it developed during engineering school. The only reason why I went to engineering was because it was practical, and I was good at science and math. You know, you're Asian, you gotta go do something practical, and so I did. And I knew that, like, I actually knew that I didn't want to be an engineer going in.
Really?
I actually wanted to be a lawyer.
What? Then
Yeah.
why did you go to engineering school?
Because I knew that that was going to be a unique thing that set me apart for law school.
A female engineer.
Engineer, like I know how to problem solve. I already know how to, like,
So your bachelor's in engineering was just a path to go to law school?
yeah.
Okay.
But then easily found out that I wasn't going to do that either. Because, dude, who wants to go to school for that long? It's just too much.
Have you ever had a job?
Yeah. I started working since I was like in 3rd grade.
Okay. So but after college, so maybe in college you worked at Jamba Juice, Starbucks or something, but bookstore. But after college, did you ever get a job?
I did.
What'd you do?
So because of that, my experience with the solar race car, I was like, okay, what kind of job can I do that I'm not sitting in front of a computer, but also utilize my engineering degree? I did construction management. So I was,
that's right.
Yeah, like
I
a field
remember that.
engineer.
Yeah.
But I remember my first project, I walked on this job site and I look at this like 7-story building that we're building. I'm like, screw this. I'm going to own this thing one day. And I kind of already knew, like, this is crap. I'm not going to just, like, be a slave to this life for the rest of my life.
Really?
Because I also saw all of my bosses, and they were all just, like, miserable and divorced. They had a lot of money and, like, was driving Ferraris and whatever. But it's like, dude, you guys are so miserable. I can tell by the way that you, like, live life that you hate your life. Why would I want to be around this?
What'd your parents do? What kind of jobs?
Construction. My dad was a construction worker, and my mom worked in human resources. Like, nothing crazy.
Because I don't come from money, and when I moved to Hawaii mid-childhood. So in Florida, we were pretty poor.
Yeah.
But the year before I moved to Hawaii, my parents bought a new house, and to me it was like a palace. Like, wow, an actual not poor person's house.
Yeah,
like,
not a trailer.
Yeah, like almost trailer. Like in the South, they have these little houses. Like, I mean, as an investor, it's like a 800 square foot 3-1, 3-2 kind of thing.
Like the one you sold for me.
Like that kind of thing. Yeah, with like a Florida version of it.
Yeah.
And but anyways, I didn't come from much, and then I moved to Hawaii, and I remember thinking that these people were so sophisticated. My stepmom, because she drank either water or Diet Coke, and they would eat like stir fry. So they have like vegetables. And I was like, oh, wow. Like they probably have a library with books too. Like that's how lower class minded I was, I don't mean to be a classist. I mean it positively. Like I came to Hawaii and saw a new vision. That was like the first inkling of like, well, maybe I can do more than just what I was on a path to do in Florida.
Yeah.
And point I'm making is, at no point, even though my grandpa in Florida was a known businessman, my direct environment, at no point did I think I could be an entrepreneur or a business person, because I had employee parents, a nurse, and then a dad who worked GS, like government job. And they're like, good job, good benefits.
Yeah.
Go to college. Not that my dad went to college, but that's what he was taught to do for his kids.
Yeah. So
it was either go to college. I remember when I was 18, he's like, I'll pay for your first semester if you pass, but if you don't pass, you owe me back. And I'm never paying again. And he knew already.
Did you pass?
No. I dropped my classes. I would go beach or go chase girls or go whatever, go drink at night. And he didn't pay for those. I had to pay like the whatever fee. And then I went 3 more semesters, so 2 years total. Never passed anything. And then I remember my dad in our living room in Eva, he'd be like, so what you gonna do? You're not gonna go to school, so you need to either learn a trade or join the military. And that's what I did. I joined the Coast Guard, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I ain't out there, laying pavement in Eva Beach in the summer like that. I'm not cut like that. And so I went to the military, which I ended up working that hard anyway.
Yeah.
But business was never an option. And then when you're in the military, it's like a socialist structure. It's a very socialist structure. So I wrote down on my first individual development plan in the Coast Guard, I'll be a millionaire by 35. And then the guy asked me, he looked at me like, how? I was like, through real estate.
Yeah.
He's like, how are you going to do that? I was like, you buy a house, it appreciates. You sell, you buy another one, it's easy. And he was like, okay. And they beat that out of me.
Yeah.
They beat it out of me. And so then I became an x-ray tech. And point being is, I was just telling Mike this story earlier. I was an good x-ray tech making, good money and following the employee path that was set out for me. For whatever reason, I even owned a jiu-jitsu business. And people would say, you're a businessman. And I was like, no, I'm not. And only once COVID happened, and I owned an x-ray staffing company. I just had all these business endeavors that really never sparked. When COVID happened, I said, F it. And I went all out and I went to Remax. And, now look at us, right? Like we're doing all the things we're doing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like 34 that I had the conviction that you had at like 24. How'd you have that? How'd you say, I'm going to own this one day. I don't want to be an employee anymore. I'm going to flip trailers and I'm going to figure out, like, is it just something you have? Because I know engineering school ain't teaching you that.
It ain't teaching me that. Okay, so I lived in Newport Beach.
Yeah.
And I was this was like right when I had graduated college, maybe the summer before I was about to start working. Mm-hmm. And I met this guy that was there for the July 4th Newport boat parade. And he's sitting there just like by himself, enjoying his life. I'm like asking him about what he does. He's like, oh yeah, I just live here 5 months and 30 days of the year. The rest of the year, I'm in Utah for taxes. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, what does this guy do? And he starts telling me about real estate. And from that moment, I realized that like a ton of these houses in Newport Beach are constantly vacant, right on the beach. Where are all these guys? And that's how my bug about real estate started bubbling. And then in college, I tutored kids, high school kids, physics, and I would go to these people's house in Newport Beach, and I'm like, dude, I didn't even know this kind of house existed. And these guys would pay me like $80 for 1 hour to help them with their homework of something that I'm doing on a daily basis in engineering school. And so just that whole experience of being in the mainland, like you say you came to Hawaii and figured out this whole entrepreneurship thing. Like for me, I had to get away.
Yeah. Well, I did. Yeah.
I had to get away and realize like there's more than this little island that we live on. Mm-hmm. And
different mindset.
Yeah, exactly. And just everyone in LA is so cutthroat. Like I don't like that, but it helped me get to where I am today, and I can take what I learned from them and remove what I don't want to learn and bring it back home and like help the local people here.
Yeah. Do you think that, I have a question around that. Do you think that we can maintain aloha and maintain our culture, but also foster people to be as competitive in the economy as LA or as New York? Because as a real estate agent, they're like, oh, you're selling the land, bruh. You should sell to only local people. Well, for one, there's fair housing laws. I can't just do that. Say, oh, I'm not going to sell to a mainland person. It's literally illegal. But, people kind of take... Me. You could, because you're not a realtor. But people take like a victim mentality, right? They're like, bro, we cannot make it. You can't make it here. But also, people cross the border from Mexico, and 10 years later are buying a house. Like the immigrant's edge allows those people to make it.
Yeah.
So, can Hawaii be competitive and participate in the Western economy? Can Hawaiians and local people just lock in with that grit, but also maintain aloha? You know, like, hey, how's it, auntie? Go clean grandma's yard. Shaka's on the freeway, and
Yeah.
or are they mutually exclusive?
It's a hard one. It's a pretty fine line, if anything. But I think in the investor community, you'll see that more so than the realtor community for sure.
What you saying?
Like, investors, except for a couple people, are more than happy to help you get a deal that they might not get. And not necessarily, yeah, we're competing against the same deals sometimes, but like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the investor community has more of a community aspect versus like realtors. They're afraid to share their secrets.
We're tribal.
Yeah,
stay
like
away
why?
from each other.
Yeah, why are you so afraid to share your secrets when if you're so good at what you do, no one's gonna do it as good as you do.
Yeah, you're talking about abundance versus scarcity mindset.
Yeah, and there's so many deals to go around. Like somebody that's gonna sell to me or for a realtor, like somebody who's gonna choose you as a listing agent is not gonna choose a different person. Like you vibe with who you vibe with.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah.
So I don't know. That's just my mentality behind it. And I think that we can have a competitive advantage and still have aloha, but I think a lot of people choose not to.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I struggle with that. I struggle with like scarcity versus abundance. I wouldn't put out videos about how we do really well in real estate, and in the environment I was in at the last brokerage I was at, it was kind of designed that way. It's kind of designed for, Deep, the other agent.
Yeah.
He was like my frenemy, my sibling rival. And
Funny thing is he's Marcus's mentor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, did Deep spawn? No.
No.
Oh,
But he just got assigned his mentor.
Oh, I didn't know he was even a mentor in the
Yeah.
program. Oh, okay. Well, we talk now and we'll have lunch occasionally and kind of unpack those years of competition, but he wouldn't Deep smooth. He wouldn't tell me shit. He ain't telling me anything, and then I would be the same. And when we started taking off, people wanted to know what we were doing, how we were doing it, and I was like, I ain't telling nobody.
Yeah, see, it's not like that with us.
So that's why I'm so impressed with you. You, at your young age, you have, and even younger, you had conviction, belief that you could be an entrepreneur, and abundant-minded about it. Like I'm still not as abundant-minded as you, to be quite honest. I might do big things that are abundant, but when you're talking about like, hey, here's my friend, tell her how you do this or that, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Dude, you got to be confident in your ability that you're the best.
Well, I am.
Well, I am, but I'm afraid to give everybody.
I love it. I love getting counseling from this 20-something. But generally,
I see you as confident, for sure.
You see me as confident, right?
For sure.
But I get scarcity-minded. I admit it. It's something to work on.
For sure.
To work on. How do you have that?
I don't know, dude. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there's so much to go around. Even on an island, there's so much to go around. And like I said, people will work with who they want to work with.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just born with that, I guess.
I do. I do. I think you're born with certain things. I think we're all born with.
Yeah.
There's a lot more nature than I think people want to admit, rather than nurture. But I think that if you didn't meet that guy in Newport, it might have been like me. It could have been years later of beating your head against the desk at your job or whatever, but you would have met someone who unlocked it.
Yeah.
I think you had it, though.
Yeah. After I met him, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was like, it's game over. I want to be the top 1% in the world.
Yeah. Well,
and that's through real estate.
Well, top 1% in the world, I don't know if you've listened to like Jordan Peterson, is like $50,000 a year.
What?
Top 1% in the world.
Are you serious?
Just by living in America and having a job.
Okay, fine. Top 1% in America.
Okay, that's different. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
That's probably $400,000 a year or something like that. Yeah. But, I went into someone's house that shifted my mind too. It was Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. Right. So I used to work at the ceiling fan place, and I didn't usually do deliveries, but they're like, hey, we need you to deliver these ones. It's an important one. I got to get it out there. And you know the Gold Coast in Waikiki?
Yeah.
By Diamond Head
Yeah,
almost, in the Kapilani Park. I go in there, which I'd never seen these little cottage gingerbread homes on the beach. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and it was like MapQuest because there's no iPhone, you know?
Okay.
So I'm like, my paper, it's like, turn
printed
here,
it.
Printed it, you know? And I'm like, all the contractors are over at that house. I guess that's the one. And I take the dolly and wheel in these ceiling fans, and everyone's like working, electricians and contractors, drywall, and I'm like, I stop someone and I'm like, you know, it was like, you know, in the scene in Home Alone where the cop comes in and the pizza guy comes in and they're trying to like, catch someone's attention.
Yeah.
It was like that, and I was like, hey, where do I put these ceiling fans? Like, oh, I just leave them right there, I guess. Okay, and I was like, hey, whose house is this? And he's like, you ever heard of that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad?
That's
like,
awesome.
I was like, yeah, I heard of it. He's like, yeah, this is his house. He's like, he's from Hawaii. I was like, wow, someone from Hawaii?
dude.
Someone from Hawaii has this house? And I declared that my dream house. His house. I was like, this is my dream house now.
You gonna buy it from him?
I think he sold it. I think he sold it like in the last few years, actually.
Dang. Sold it for gold, probably.
It's like $8 million. I think he sold it for like $8 million or something.
Yeah. $8 million worth of gold.
I wouldn't want it anymore, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got bigger dreams?
No, it's just, I mean, sure, but I wouldn't want to live in the Gold Coast, Waikiki.
Yeah, me
I was
neither.
into surfing. I was, like, surfing with my dad in the morning in Waikiki was a huge thing, so it represented all this stuff for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where would you, like, if you know, you're worth $100 million, where are you living? Hawaii?
Probably, yes, Hawaii. Either, see, I'm just a simple gal. Like, I just want to live in, like, Makakilo.
Really?
Yeah,
Or,
Makakilo.
like Pueo, Nani, like that area?
Dude, not
or
even, like, the fancy ones. Just,
Kahivelo.
I have a specific street. I think it's called Hekaha.
Hekaha is, well, I know Hekaha is here in Aiea by Cutter Ford.
It starts with the H, but I only want to live on those streets where the back is the valley and you see an ocean view.
Cambo Industrial Ko'olina side?
No, like up Makakilo.
Oh, the back is a valley and you're looking towards town.
Not necessarily town, but
Like
Ko'olina. Like you see the ocean in your backyard.
Oh, so the west side of Maka, like looking west.
Yeah,
High
looking
Point.
west to the ocean, and then the backyard is like the valley. You have no back neighbors.
Yeah.
You just have a pool and a jacuzzi back there.
That's where you want to be.
That's my simple life, dude.
My friend just bought one just like that.
Yeah, see, if I was going like hella bougie, probably Manaulu in Makaha.
Yeah.
But even that's not bougie because it's Makaha. Come on. But
Nah,
I'm just
it
like
is.
a West Side girl. Like I love the chill vibes.
Yeah.
I hate town, dude. Anytime I have to pass Mauna Lua, I'm getting anxiety. I don't even want to go. I don't want to
Really?
drive myself. Yeah, dude, I hate it.
You don't want to wake up in your ward, Howard
No,
Hughes condo,
absolutely not.
get some avocado toast, go for
Bro,
a run in Ala Moana Beach
screw
Park,
that.
and then have like a coffee made by a hipster.
If I ever have to catch an elevator to get from my car to my room, it's a horrible deal for me.
Really?
Yes.
I would like to have like a Mauna Olu or do you know Mauna Wiri in Kailua?
Yeah.
Mauna Wiri, like something, maybe even like in the back of Mililani Mauka.
Yeah.
There's actually this one property. I don't know if it was the person who owned it all and sold it to Castle and Cook, but there's like this one ranch in the very back.
Yeah, see, that would be another thing. There's up in Kaneohe, like kind of by Kahalu, I guess. There's this one listing. It's my friend Stephanie's. It's a $14 million listing.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a fixer, too.
Yeah.
Fixing that up would be dope. And like adding a pool and just having a fat piece of land. Probably building like a Vaikai back there. So some kind of lagoon, like a 52-acre
easy.
lagoon, like my own kind of lagoon.
There went I'm not bougie.
Dude, I love like toys. Like
Yeah.
scooters, ATVs, like all kinds of toys, water toys, paddling, all that stuff. But I want it in my own yard, and I could
Yeah.
just invite all my friends. Like Mr. Beast, I rented this 15-acre blah blah blah. Like that would be.
That would be dope.
Yeah, if anything, like if I lived a bougie life, it would look like that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like the concrete jungle. Like people are like, oh, I get the energy from New York and all the eateries. I like going to that and like having like one of my favorite restaurants in Hawaii is Istanbul. Have you eaten there?
I've heard of it, but I've never eaten there
It's
before.
so good, and it's like it's Ward, it's bougie, Whole Foods right across the street. I like that, but not every day. So I would ideally have. This is mine. This is where my dreams are right now. I would have some more country kind of house, like Maunawili. Probably not Mauna Olu, but Maunawili or North Shore, Pupukea, something like that.
Yeah.
And then, Mauna Olu is dope, but
it's far.
It's far. I feel a little cramped.
Yeah, it's far.
That would be my weekly thing, and then I would have a condo in Ward.
Okay, so you
I have a condo in Ward, and then I would have a home in probably Colorado for the fall. And so I'd spend my falls there.
I like it. Where in Colorado? Colorado Springs?
So I just came back. The Springs are dope. Denver's cool. Boulder's all right. I don't know, but just something
what about
like that.
Grand Junction, the other side? No?
That's cool too, yeah. Wyoming,
Dude,
Bozeman, Montana.
Dude, I love
Bend,
Bozeman.
Oregon. Like something like that for the fall.
Yeah, I can feel that.
I'm basic. I want a pumpkin spice latte.
Dude, I love pumpkin spice latte. Starbucks or coffee bean?
That's a very Hawaii question. I don't want either.
Oh, damn, dude.
I don't want either.
Dude, I'm Starbucks pumpkin spice latte all day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got to move closer.
Sorry.
Yeah, that would be my dream. That would be my trifecta. Mostly in Hawaii, town, and maybe even I could go like one house on the Big Island and one, and so I'd fly into town. I know that seems...
This guy, he's got so many now.
But I know that seems ridiculous.
It's not, though. But I didn't know that we were doing a multi-level marketing thing. I thought we were picking one.
You gotta have abundance.
Okay, fine.
Multi-level marketing.
Dude, I didn't know we were doing multi-level marketing on our houses.
No, because like, say you live on the Big Island. To fly into, or at least right now, it's like $59 to fly over. Yeah, super cheap. And then once you get to Ward, you don't need a car. Like you just...
Yeah.
So I could do that too, maybe.
I like the Big Island. I like Kauai too.
Bruh, Kauai. The thing about Kauai is just a backward sea, and there's just like one road. That's the thing about Makaha. It's just like the one road.
Yeah, one road.
I just want more roads. A
little more accessibility.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Kauai is cool though. I'm trying to get Xavier. How's this guy? Balazi.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he said he'll come on, but
does he live in Kauai?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nailing his schedule down and stuff.
Nice. Let's go. Yeah. Joe Rogan. Let's go.
So I got a question for you. What would you, for young people, or any person really, but usually the younger people are going to have the ambition and the vision. What do you recommend they do? Like young Hawaii people who want to make it in Hawaii.
What does make it mean?
Well, so for me, when I was young, make it meant get an X-ray job, work at Palimomi right over here, and just buy a house in Eva. That was like make it. I've since, made my goals a bit bigger. But I think, just for most people, it'd be able to own a home, maybe even have a second rental, even if it's in Vegas or the mainland. Own a home and invest for retirement. Because for most local people, and like they can't even do that. The path to home ownership and then to build wealth on top of that, husband and a wife working basic bachelor's degree jobs is hard in Hawaii.
But I think where their mistake is that they're surrounding themselves with the wrong people. That's where it starts.
But does everyone want to talk about mindset and abundance and listen to Tony Robbins and do breath work like you and I?
If they don't want to, then they're just not going to own that house.
They can move to Vegas?
Yeah, they can go to the ninth island, dude. I mean, dude, everybody has control over their own life, and I'm, like, super blunt about that because we both came from nothing, and, like, most of the people I know who have built multi-million-dollar businesses have come from nothing.
Yeah.
So I have, like, no mercy for small-minded people. Sorry. My bad.
I get you. I get it. So, two things I want to say about that. One, I'm like, is 2023 harder economically than 1975? There was a post-World War II boom where everyone talks about how great it was. Like, all of a sudden it was ubiquitous to have microwaves and microwave dinners, and now the wife's going to work, women lib movement. Single family home costs $40,000. Like, sure, that was an easy economic time, I suppose, and now it's harder. But how about focus on every other time in human history other than that? Because right now is easier than...
It's easier to make money now.
It's easier. So if 1970 was easier, I'll give you that. But was 1870? Was 1670? Was 870?
Yeah.
Was 70?
Dude,
Like,
I
all
don't
those
even
times
know
were
past
harder.
1996. Sorry.
All those times are harder, right? Like, life was so much harder. So we grind, right? Like, I work a lot. But what? An AC in front of cameras with iPhones?
See, I don't work a lot.
Okay. That's a flex. But even that.
Is it though? Because I feel like everyone flexes grinding and hustling.
I guess yeah, I see what you're saying. You're working smarter, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's a higher order behavior. But just grinding, even if it's working construction and working side jobs, and then instead of buying Heineken's, buying assets.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easy to make it now. If your mindset is that it's easy to make it.
Right. But
It's
everyone's
out there.
too busy spending their money on Heineken's.
Or lifted Yodas or
Yeah,
whatever.
lifted Yodas, dude.
So there's a guy, David Osborne. He came up with Gary Keller. He's one of the multimillionaires made in that uprising. He was on a Bigger Pockets, I think. And
Yeah,
he
I know
said-
who that is.
Yeah, he said, I know a lot of people worth 10 million, 100 million plus, whatever. He's like, I don't know one who didn't work 10 years in the span of 5.
Yep.
But he's like, but if you can work 10 years in the span of 5, then you can live differently.
Yeah.
So
But believe that you can do that
I'm
first.
kind of like you, like if you can't make it, like, work harder, bro. Like I grew up surfing. It was
Yeah.
my passion. I did jiu-jitsu. I don't do any of those things
Yeah.
because I'm in a point in my life where I'm trying to take a big leap for my family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. I wouldn't put it exactly like you, but I agree that, like, it's easy to make it if you want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
Like,
easy, not
simple.
easy. Yeah.
Simple.
So what I think too is that making a lot of money, you have to do the same boring thing over and over and over and over again and see no results until that one sparks. Nobody is willing to do the boring work.
I think that obsessive dominant people end up successful because not that just that they're willing to, it's just that it's more painful to sit in a cubicle than to beat your head on failures in the
Yeah.
free market, and then they end up sparking something.
Yeah, and it just takes that one. Especially in, like, for me with real estate investing specifically, you're looking for a very, very distressed seller. And somebody who's going to list their house on the market versus, like, that distressed seller, it's like a 10-to-1 ratio, right? So, like, it's a volume game, dude. So I'm coaching right now, right? And every single week, the first thing I ask is, how many dials did you make? How many people did you talk to? How many leads did you get? Oh, you got 0 leads. It's because you talked to 50 people.
Yeah.
Dude, like, bring your numbers up. That's all it's about. It's just doing the same thing, boring, over. Oh, but it's so hard. Well, freaking duh, it's hard.
Yeah.
If it wasn't hard, everybody would have done
Yeah.
it by now. So
For sure. So what about young Mike here? Mike...
40s and shorties?
40s. Mike's been spending time in here for like 4 months.
Yeah.
And now Mike's going to transition away. He's like, man, I've grown so much, like hearing all these conversations and just the game that you put me on. Because we talk about, like, you know, manhood and all that stuff. And he's like, all right, I got it. Now off to the next.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if, maybe you should stick around for a bit longer
Yeah.
and learn some more. And he's like, well, I got this thing going, and I got, you know, my TikToks popping, da-da. But I'm like, if you have media skills and you want to make money, because he has grandiose visions, right? Like, I want to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I know what I say you should do with your time and skills, but what should he do?
So, I mean, let me just tell a story in response to that.
I like it.
So when I first quit my job to do real estate investing full time, I was dead broke. I had to move back in with my parents. And I spent all of the money I had on coaching. So yeah, you can go spend that money or you can go work for somebody for free. I did both, actually. So I don't know if you know my old partner. I think I was friends with you then, but I had spent $20,000 on coaching with Ryan Pineda. And then on top of that, I went to go help this investor in California build her business. So she has been in real estate for over 20 years, and all of it's all referrals. She never had like any kind of system or anything.
Agent or investor?
Both.
Okay.
Broker and investor.
Okay.
And so I took everything I learned from Ryan and all the systems and processes, plus what I learned from engineering, and literally built that whole system for this lady for free. And I just tried to provide her as much value as I could. Ended up building that system for her, hiring all these VAs. She had like 6 VAs calling for her on a consistent basis. All these leads coming in. I'm the one following up with them. She's teaching me how to close. She's showing me all the contracts, all that stuff. And then once we got a deal under contract, okay, now I need to go find hard money. What questions do I ask these hard money lenders? And like I'd get on the phone with these lenders, and they're like, "You sound like you know what you're doing." And in my head, I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just asking what she said to ask. And yeah, I would say like when it comes to learning something new, if you can provide somebody a ton of value for free, they're going to teach you everything you need to know and more. And my first year of business in Hawaii, doing real estate full time by myself, once I left that, I made over $200,000, and that's not normal for somebody's first year in real estate investing. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't go grind it out and just be like hella broke, living at home and trying to provide so much value, plus investing in myself. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah. And people will go and pay multiple 6 figures for a bachelor's degree at Duke.
Yeah.
And come out, and what you can do with that is come back to Hawaii and make $60,000 at a job.
Woohoo!
Or you can go get like a $20,000 or $40,000 coaching program, or multiple different ones, and then basically intern under someone who's doing what you want to do in real estate, and then be positioned for
much more than that.
No limits, right?
Yeah, exactly. No cap, dude.
No cap. Yeah. So is that the advice?
I would say
find a mentor.
That you find somebody who's doing what you want to do and give them so much they can't deny you. They can't deny giving you everything that they know.
Yeah. That's kind of what I did when COVID happened, and I was like, I got to quit this x-ray job because I had been sick, and then the hospital, Queens, was like, you cannot wear a mask. And I was like, I'll bring my own mask then. And they're like, no, well, you can't wear one. You'll scare the people. And I was like, I was just deathly ill with a respiratory disease. I don't know what this thing is, so I quit. And then I went and found a mentor, and I was like, my thing was, I'll say yes to anything. If they call me at midnight and like, go meet this for sale by owner, I'll say yes to anything for a year.
Yeah.
I didn't quite make it a year. I mean,
I made it 6 months. That's it.
I made it like
I
8
thought
months.
I was going to last longer, but I couldn't.
But I also gave them more than the normal amount of value and growth in that time too. So, that's what I did.
That's the fast track, dude.
And my thing is, I just want to be busy. It's not super sophisticated, but I was like, and I had done more sophisticated business plans, but my business plan was, I'll join this team. I'll say yes to anything. If they want me to dress like a woman, I'll say yes to anything for a year. Yeah. I want to be really busy helping. Even though I'm not making much at all. I just want to be super busy helping. And then I can genuinely and authentically post on Instagram how busy I am helping. And I'll catch momentum. And that's what I did. I just started posting. And they're like, how are most of your deals personal deals? Like, how are you getting listings as a new agent?
Not a buyer's agent?
Yeah, and then personal deals. And we actually do a ton of buyers now. So some people would say I've regressed, but that's a whole different conversation. But we do listings too. But I was getting majority listings from my own sphere. And it was just finding a mentor to plug into and just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just good things came of it.
Yeah, like for me, I think the reason why I ended up leaving was because it started compromising my values. But if that wasn't the case, I would have stayed with her for a pretty long time.
I could say similar, but I'm not going to touch that. Yeah. Yeah. I had to choose different alignment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you working on right now?
So currently, I'm really trying to focus on 2 different marketing channels for the real estate investing. Number 1 is coaching people how to do what I did, and then partnering with them on those deals. And then number 2 is MLS. So Marcus, my husband, he has his license now. And then whoever from my meetups who realtors come up to me, because I mostly invite realtors to come to these.
You put on big ass meetups.
Yeah,
huh?
I mostly invite a ton of realtors. Like my assistant literally DMs every single realtor on the island to invite them to
She ain't DM
these
me.
meetups. Because you already know me.
So you're working on that.
Yeah, so MLS, and then whoever, those realtors that meet me, they'll submit offers for me as well. That's the flipping stuff. And then, like I said, I don't want to do projects by myself anymore. I'm sick of running around. I feel like for the last year, I was doing a lot of 50-50s, but I was doing all the work and somebody else was teaching me. Now I want to turn the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's like the real estate side. Sometimes I'll call my leads and then get something under contract, but I'm really trying not to. But last week I got super bored and I called one of my leads, ended up locking it up. So, dude, when you got it, you got it.
Here's the thing. So the lender I work with, Pacram over there,
Yeah.
very smart set of siblings, 2 sisters and a brother. And we talk about strategic overreach. So one of my last mentors, one of his issues is always trying to do the most with whatever he has. Like trying to conquer the world, but you got an army of 10 or whatever. And the reason why Russia had lost the war, they extended their supply line so deep, and then the winter came, they couldn't sustain. Strategic overreach, going too far with too little.
Yeah.
In real estate, Keller Williams, Gary Keller has this book, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and
Yeah.
they talk about the levels of business. It's 1 through 7. So a solo agent's at level 1, and then an agent who's built everything out and is passive and not even working in the business is 7th level. Sometimes I see KW agents chase the 7th level to their detriment. And nothing, I love.
Early, you're saying?
I love Keller Williams, and there's great agents there. It's not a dig. I'm just, people in the industry sometimes are like chasing 7th level. And I think it's an example of strategic overreach. They're like, I got to be at this business level. I don't call leads. That's what makes me so sophisticated. I'm Ryan Pineda. And it's like, okay, but, or you could call leads. Like even for me, like, or I could jump in and help some clients, sell some houses, make some extra money, go buy a rental, which is passive. And maybe I'm only 4th level in the Keller Williams teachings. But like, what did I want out of my life? I mean, I'm making money. I'm very thankful and appreciative of this life I have. Sometimes people want to be 7 level too much and too fast. And sometimes those 7th level people are not profitable.
Yeah.
I know real estate teams.
Too much overhead. Too much overhead.
At scale, it's thin.
Yeah.
Like American Express only makes pennies when you swipe, but it's huge scale.
Yeah.
And at smaller scale, your margins are healthier. Not everyone's built for razor thin margins, but massive scale.
Yeah.
And I'm not under the impression that I need that. Like, oh, I run Core Team Hawaii and I don't even talk to clients ever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm more passive than most agents. I have a cool thing built out. But I don't, even though I have an ego, my ego doesn't need me to be this person who doesn't even participate in real estate because I'm so sophisticated. Like, you live a good life at a 4th level real estate business, you know?
And that's what I realized within this last year of like, so I had a ton of assistants calling for me full time. Then I had Dayton, another manager managing all those leads. Well, I had like a good team going.
Yeah.
And it was so much managerial debt. I could not handle it. I was like, this is actually not the kind of life I want to live. I don't want this big company. I don't want to have to manage a ton of people. Like, I just want to partner with competent people.
Yeah.
And like, I stay in my zone of genius and you stay in your zone of genius, and we just vibe and make money together.
Yeah. There's a book called Small Giants. And now it's bigger scale than you or I, but they're interviewing companies like Anchor Steam Brewing or the ones that didn't decide to go IPO and go public and chase massive scale, they're like small, privately held, maybe ESOP, so employee-owned companies that are massively profitable, healthy margins, have great sustainability and staying power, but they they decided where they wanted to be and they stay there, you know? I don't think that's bad, but I think that one of the things on the investor and agent and entrepreneurial side of things is we can never satisfy.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Also social media.
Social media for
Comparison,
sure. It's
dude.
toxic, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to sit with like people you respect to be like to maybe reinforce like, no, actually maybe reallocate some of your time to calling some of those leads and just increase your margins where you are, but go buy a fourplex.
Yeah.
You know? That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
We turn down agents all the time. I'm looking for more agents. I specifically want a military wife. I specifically want a military wife to do more media with. And
Media, not necessarily.
Oh, no, not like a new wife, or like a military wife agent.
No. I know you're not saying that.
Yeah.
But you're looking for them to also be in your videos. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or a new video project. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's like me in the Hawaiian side, then there's like me in that. Like, rather than go into a new market or make a Vegas channel or
Just
pursue course sales,
Yeah.
like just go deep. Like, my competition's coming anyways, right? Other people want to make videos and do
They're
stuff
starting
we do.
to.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're all over.
Yeah.
Why not be the competition?
Yeah.
Right. So I could build another 7-figure funnel off of, with that right partnership. But more often than not, it's not the right partnership. So we just say no because we protect what we have,
Yeah, that
stay
makes
at the
sense.
4th level or whatever.
Dude, as long as it's working, there's no need to be at the level 7.
Yeah.
Not everyone's built for that.
And a lot of them aren't profitable.
Yeah.
Or it's thin margins.
Thin margins. Dude.
Yeah.
I'd rather do less work, more profit.
More percentage or more, you know what I mean? It's like scale and low margins or smaller scale but big margins, right?
Yeah.
If people want to get in touch with you, if they want to learn from you, if they want to learn real estate, if they want to plug in on social media, like where do they find you?
Instagram and YouTube. Trying to grow my YouTube more. Those are more of the super fans. I feel like I've been able to grow Instagram to an extent. I'm kind of at this plateau too, so trying to grow that a little bit more. But I would say Instagram and YouTube, real Stacy.
YouTube are the super fans?
Dude, YouTube are the super fans. If you're watching my YouTube videos.
Yeah, well, people go to those for different things, right? Like you go on TikTok to scroll and maybe get tidbits and, look at girls you shouldn't be looking at if you're a guy or what, like while you're sitting on the toilet. That's like TikTok.
Yeah.
But YouTube is the second search engine owned by the number 1 search engine.
Right, exactly.
Google. And you go there with a different appetite, whether it be for entertainment or for education. You go there with a long form appetite, right?
Yeah.
So you build trust differently on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your videos are getting really, really good. Like
Hey, don't be telling
production
people.
wise.
Don't be scared. I'm scared. Don't tell people.
Oh my god.
No, but you know why I don't actually promote the YouTube anywhere else is the algorithm is sophisticated, and I want it to find the right people that watch for longer view durations. I don't go and promote it because then if someone's like, let me check them out. That's
they're
cool.
watching
Click
it for
off.
a little bit.
Then that's telling the algorithm like, oh, it must be shitty, the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't promote the YouTube anywhere else, and that's the hardest thing because it's a hockey stick success, right? Like you're like, I'm on my 100th video, nothing, and then eventually it turns if you're making good content. But you want to promote it, like you want to tell, go watch me, go give me a subscription, but subscribe, follow.
When did you start that channel?
January 2021.
You popped off pretty quick then.
You know what, too? First 8 months of real estate I really started real estate in COVID, really going hard. I had listened to all the bigger pockets, was a would-be investor. So I came into it with a different, aptitude and acumen and foundation. But I only really started selling a lot of homes in 2020. And then I was the anomaly, getting all the listings, sold like 10 million in my first several months. But then I had nothing. I was zero, dead in the water, imposter syndrome. I'm a one-hit wonder. All my friends already sold and bought. I'm just here, nothing.
Yeah.
This girl had joined, I don't know if you ever worked with her, Colina, when she was with me, but she had joined Remax just to work with me.
Okay.
I'm not at Remax anyone for the people out there. I'm at a different company, so you go to coreteamhawaii.com. But I had joined that brokerage, or she had joined the brokerage to mentor under me. And I was like, she's like, can I follow you around today? I was like, I got nothing. She's like, you don't have like a lead to call or like a meeting? I was like, I don't have a coffee meeting. I'm dead in the water that January. And then by the end of the year, we were like crushing, like doing well. And throughout the rest of that year, I sold more homes, and I just was in a dead zone. But that's when the YouTube started, when I was in that like dead zone. Yeah.
And were you focusing on quantity up front or like just quality out the get-go?
I've never even thought of that in those terms. On Instagram, I'm very much, although I don't give it a ton of my effort, but I'm more of a quantity over quality.
Yeah, but YouTube.
YouTube too, if you made me pick quantity or quality, I would say consistency is synonymous with quantity. So I would pick consistency over quality.
Okay.
And now define quality. We were just talking with Jackie about this, like a reveal shot where it's like you come into the picture and then it blurs and then I start walking towards the camera and all that shit. I don't care about that quality.
Okay.
You can sit just like this and be really high quality on YouTube because of the message and the value you're giving. So really quality content in terms of, you know, the value given, yes, but quality in terms of imagery
Production
and stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, my one friend, I talked about doing it with him, and when I told him the vision, he's like, "Bro, I cannot make that kind. I only make nice stuff." And I was like,
"For real?"
I was like, "But if it's too nice, like they're not gonna trust me."
Yeah.
Like if it's like you're building distance between me and that person if it's too nice.
Yeah, you got to leave some mistakes.
He's like, no, I need cinematic, I need blur, I need music, I need speed up, slow down. And I was like, nah, that's not what I'm looking for. And we just agreed, like, yeah, well, we're not a fit for this project.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have a cell phone and a good mic and post once a week consistently than a red camera, $40,000 thing with a boom and mirrors and silver things or whatever.
For sure.
And post every 2 weeks. I'd rather post once a week with the cell phone.
Once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like a desert. There's this big desert and there's an oasis in the middle. And if your YouTube starts working, you're drinking from the oasis. But most people die in the desert
On the way,
because they're either not willing to pay for the education, the map, or they're not willing to hire a Sherpa to get them through.
So who did you learn from when it came to YouTube?
Actually, that's another thing. We looked around and studied some people, but we did it our way. We didn't follow someone's recipe. We were like, this is Hawaii. We're us.
Yeah.
I'd done some branding in my jiu-jitsu business. And so we're like, let's just do it our way and see what happens. So there's like a book. There's a good book called The YouTube Code or something. I didn't read that, though, till this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just listened to some podcasts and went for it. But I had nothing else going. So YouTube for real estate agents, YouTube usually works for new agents or agents new to a market because the experienced agents, they're already making money doing things that work.
They don't need to make YouTube videos.
And they die in the desert on the way. They never make it all the way. But agents who have nothing, they're willing to stick it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been right now. I'm posting twice a week, and man, it's a steady growth.
How long are the videos?
The videos anywhere between 5 minutes and 20 minutes.
I think the video should be as long as it is valuable. If you have a topic or an interview or a vlog that stands to be an hour and it's engaging and valuable and entertaining and educational for an hour, then do that. If it's a 10-minute one, then do that. So we approached it that way.
And what made you, so clearly you have like that YouTube channel that brings in real estate leads. What's your idea? I know you kind of shared about the Joe Rogan thing, but like, how does this connect to what you're already doing? Because you kind of talked about how you didn't want to build so many bridges.
This is a little indulgent and selfish, but well, no, the bridge thing. for the people out there, there's like an island in the middle, and people like build half a bridge to get to the island and stop.
Yeah.
And they like build half a bridge, they never get.
They
instead
never
of
get anywhere.
Instead of building one bridge all the way to the island and then working on the second one,
Yep.
right? So I feel like our primary business is connected to the island, and I can do other things now.
Okay.
Podcast Hawaii, I just enjoy having conversations with interesting people about growth, about Hawaii, maybe about some smoke, you know, some drama, some politicians who want to argue over something, whatever. And so I remember when I sold my jiu-jitsu business, my friend was in Pakistan, I think. He was doing like contractor. He's a Marine who did like Blackwater type things. And he's like, "Hey, D, you ever listen to Bigger Pockets?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No." So I started listening to it, and that started just changing everything. Like, oh, I'm going to be an investor. I started getting interested in money. And then when I had a kid, as a provider, as a man, I was like obsessive. Like, all I want to do is work for my family. And I would listen to Bigger Pockets or Joe Rogan, and that's it. And my commute in California was like hour, 15 minutes each way.
Oh my gosh.
And
so
so
one Joe Rogan podcast per day.
Yeah, so I was like, I want to move. Like, I was like, especially at that time, like 2016, 17, there were no podcasts out of Hawaii. Now there's a handful, you know,
Yeah.
and more coming. But I was like, I want to move home and be the Joe Rogan of Hawaii. You know, I used to think that. And so now that I'm in a position to make more media, and media has been a good thing for my business.
Yeah.
This is that. Now, making videos about Hawaii to acquire real estate clients is more of a direct benefit. If I just want to focus on money making activities, I should just make more of that.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna be like I got a comment. They're like, "Wow, I saw that guy Derek's podcast Hawaii. Like, he's everywhere," because they know me from YouTube and they know me from Instagram. So this increases my like overall Q score of things. Like it makes me more omnipresent to people, but it's not a direct real estate activity. So I'm sure I'll sell more houses in my career in the next 5 years. I'll sell some because of this podcast. People build trust and understand that we're skilled and all of that. But I like, you know, I want to have conversations about Hawaii and hopefully be valuable to people and just. Or they're stuck on the H1. I'm privileged enough not to have to do that normally.
Yeah, 100%. Dude.
And so
that's why I hate town.
They can listen to interesting people. Maybe and you know what? Maybe some local person's gonna vibe with you and become a real estate investor, and then get to $200,000 a year and stay here, and hopefully buy a house with us, and I'll get to have that success story and that plaque on my wall. You know?
And then flip it so that he can give you the most profit.
Or keep it. They should keep it and then buy another one and buy another one.
Yeah.
You know, you win Monopoly by keeping houses or trading up.
Yeah. In Hawaii, it's really difficult, though, to cash flow for sure. I mean, it's not impossible, but...
Yeah, but maybe that person will flip with you and then they'll buy a primary that they otherwise couldn't buy, right?
Yeah.
Like my agent on my team, Mahe, she was living at home with family on a bunk bed in the side room, like rock bottom when we met. And now I'm like pushing her, like, "You're gonna buy a house next year?" Like and she's just still mind blown. Like, I can't even believe I'm even talking about buying a house. Like, you know,
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's lonely at the top if you don't bring anyone with you.
Yeah, you got to bring people along for the journey. I'm a huge believer about that.
Yeah. So hopefully, that's my virtue, right? But hopefully some people are changed. So some people are going to be entertained by this podcast, but hopefully some people listen to someone interesting, connect with someone like you, and we keep a family in Hawaii, you know, or something. So
makes sense.
That's the goal.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So what's your Instagram? What's your...
Real Stacy, RealEstacey.
Real Stacy.
Yeah, like real estate.
Yeah, Real Stacy.
Real Stacy.
And what's that? And what's it? Do you want to promote the YouTube? I mean,
I mean,
wouldn't.
same thing.
Okay.
Whatever's.
If you go to Stacy's YouTube, watch it for a long time, so it tells the algorithm it's good.
Yeah, go watch my deal analysis videos. I analyze flips every single week.
And if someone wants to do a deal, they could hit me up, hit you up. We could all partner. I still flip. Like, you saw the townhome. I was telling you about the townhome I flipped recently. And
where was that one at?
Waikele.
Okay.
I'll show you. It was the moldiest home on Oahu.
You got it off market. It was supposed to be a listing or something.
No, it's just it. It was off market, yeah. But it was such a good deal that now I wouldn't even take it. But I was scared. It was during COVID. We didn't know if the world was gonna end.
Yeah.
And so I took like a screaming deal on it. But and we didn't know the market was gonna accelerate like that either. By the time we ended up finishing the project, the market was just going up and up and up. But at the time we were closing, like the IRS was closed because of COVID, and we couldn't like escrow couldn't close. Like it was a really scary time to make an investment, especially for your first.
Yeah.
But point is, if someone has a deal, they could hit either one of us up. I've sent you like a lead that I'm like, hey, I'd like to sell their home or buy it, but if I can't, you do it.
Yeah.
So if someone, it has to be the right situation for someone to sell off market. There's benefits for a seller to sell off market. But for a lot of sellers, they want to sell on market and squeeze as much out of the juice, out of the orange as they can. We could help them with either.
Yeah. You're going to need somebody with multiple levels of motivation to sell off market for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Podcast Soy, thanks for coming.